Now, this is going to be a quick discussion on the whole course plan of ethics. Now, this course plan is divided into 4 parts, and these 4 parts are based on the syllabus of UPSC itself. So, if you haven't seen the video on the syllabus discussion, go check it out, and otherwise, you can just pause this video and quickly read through the syllabus before coming back here. Now, the first part of this course is going to cover ethics and moral philosophy in its general broad sense. What is ethics? How do you decide something is right or wrong? How do you decide your own moral reasoning to finally reaching your own moral compass? And iske liye we'll be taking help of 2 different sides. The first side being the Western thinkers, where we'll cover it under meta-ethics, normative ethics, as well as applied ethics. And the other side being the Indian perspective, where we'll cover it holistically right from the very beginning, the history of ethics itself in the Indian perspective, which is from the Vedas, finally coming back to our modern contemporary times. Alongside, we'll be covering all the other major thinkers and philosophers that Indian side has had. Now, moving on from there, UPSC talks about psychology in ethics. They have divided psychology in 3 major parts: attitude, aptitude, and emotional intelligence. But what we'll do is हम इसको थोड़ा और holistically करेंगे, because जो अभी UPSC questions पूछ रहे हैं वो बहुत ही analytical based है. So we'll try to involve every other topic, especially from social psychology, that is involved or influences morality itself. Now, from there, we move on to the major chunk, the major portion of from where questions are being asked from. From 2013 to 2021, if you look at our previous year question paper discussion, you will find that 50% of the questions are being asked from ethics and governance and ethics values in public administration. So, ये जो portion है, इसको भी हम काफ़ी डिटेल में कवर करेंगे, so that we have an idea of how the administration was built around ethics, the ARC report that came on ethics, as well as going forward, what are the challenges that we face when it comes to ethical governance, right? And then finally, we come to the examination portion of it, of understanding what UPSC wants as an answer from an ethical aspirant, right? So here we break down the questions that UPSC asks. What is the moral core of that question? What is the moral ask of that question? We break down quotations, because UPSC has been heavily relying on quotations when it comes to both essays as well as ethics. So we break down quotations into its own moral core. How do we interpret this moral core and write our own answers? Because at the end of the day, UPSC wants your own perspective, right? And then finally, we talk about case studies. Now, after doing these 4 parts in its whole entirety, you will be in a position where you will be able to give your own unique approach to the case studies. And that will conclude our whole discussion on the ethics. Now, this being a YouTube course, it's a post-production course where you get to pause the video, play the video by yourself, right? So I have only 2 asks from you as a person who's participating in this with me. The first thing is, make sure you are an active participant. आपको जो करना है वो है कि आप ये जो वीडियोस देखोगे इसके अपने खुद के नोट्स बनाओगे. Because remember, most of these classes are going to be a conversation between you and me, of you interpreting and understanding what ethics means to you. And to do that, you have to make your own notes. And for all the static portion, don't worry, I'll be giving you certain dictations only for the static portion, because if you look at the previous year question papers, you'll find that not more than 20-30% is purely based on static portion where you have to give definitions. Other than that, it's all applicability. And that's where your notes will come into play. Because you'll see in our syllabus discussion itself that UPSC is asking for 3 things. Our candidate's unique approach, how they solve moral dilemmas and moral crisis, and how they apply it in case studies. These are the only 3 things that UPSC is asking. So your unique approach will immediately come out from your own unique notes that you make through these classes. That is my first ask. The second ask is, if you have any issues, if you have any doubts, if you have any sort of dilemma that you're facing yourself when it comes to this whole course or any other portion of the course, make sure you just comment it down below or mail it to me, so that either I can respond to you directly, or if it's an amazing dilemma that I'm willing to share, then we'll go ahead and make a video on it. Now, see, this whole course is a course that is steeped into practicality. तो इसमें जो हमारी references होंगे, that need not be just based on books. The movies, the series, the pop culture, everything is based on morality. Remember, everything in this world has happened because someone thought it was the right thing to do. And that's the approach we're going to have. It's not going to be a very theory-heavy class, and it's going to be more based on the practicality and applicability of it. So that concludes our course discussion, and from the next week onwards, we'll be starting the whole course itself. So I hope to see you there, and I hope you enjoy this class and become an active participant of it. All the best.